Senator Roberts.
Thank you, Mr. President. On this Remembrance Day, and as a servant to the people of Queensland and Australia, I want to pay tribute to those who, through their labour, have helped build this amazing country. I speak, Mr. President, of our farmers in communities right around our country. Farm work is more than just dawn to dusk physical work. It is more than the stress of banks. It is more than the stress of bureaucrats and environmentalism. In this, the driest inhabited continent on Earth, our farmers must contend with natural drought. Sadly, they must also contend with unnatural bureaucracy and unnatural levels of ignorance. Driven by the United Nations Environmental Assembly, farmers are being blamed for climate variability through vegetation reduction and even their farting cows, maybe even their burping cows. Yet, Mr. President, have you seen what happens to a property in a drought once it is deprived of water? It turns into a wasteland with a corresponding loss of habitat for native Australian animals. It stops sequestering carbon. And I mention that word because it's a favourite play toy of the Greens, the Labor Party, the Liberal Party and the Nationals. So let's explore the word carbon for a minute, because this is dogging farmers. Carbon is a solid. It's in diamonds. It is diamonds. It is graphite in the lead of pencils. Carbon dioxide is a gas. A solid is not a gas. Carbon, the solid, is in every cell of every living organism. It's in our every cell ourselves. As I said, carbon dioxide is not carbon. We inhale air with a carbon dioxide content of 0.04, trivial. We exhale it at 100 times that level, 4%. So we are making carbon dioxide. And the plants love us for it, because carbon dioxide is the driver of everything that is green. Everything that is green relies on carbon dioxide. Farmers know this. Farmers know that carbon dioxide is not a pollutant. And yet they are being blamed for causing climate change, when it's really just natural climate variability. By their own nonsensical climate change argument, the Greens and the Labor Party and the Liberal Party show that dewatering a property makes the environment worse off, not better. When you stop water, you stop plant growth. When you stop plant growth, you stop the sequestering of carbon dioxide. In my recent visit to Cobram in Victoria, farmers were sharing stories of the wildlife on their farms. One dairy farmer had a wildlife expert who counted 35 native Australian species on his small dairy farm. This included fish, frogs, turtles in their dam, mammals and native Australian birds on the land. Another farmer, with 100 acres of native bush down the back that benefited from runoff from their farming, he found 200 species in that little area. Our farmers, Mr. President, are doing much more than just saving Australians from starvation and the weather. They are saving our wildlife as well. And yet all we hear is that farmers are causing climate change, which in turn has caused these terrible fires. That is false. Farmers are now being blamed for fires. Yet they're the ones who want to have fire breaks, fire trails, vegetation thinning, backburning. They know how to prevent fires, how to manage and minimise the fuel load. Farmers don't cause fires. Farmers prevent fires. And simply promoting that argument that farmers control fires, I say to those people promoting that nonsense, how dare you? Because it is false. Farmers must contend with activists as well, invading their homes. Farmers are blamed for footage of animals suffering in the live export trade, only to find out, after their livelihoods were destroyed, that the footage was faked. Activists suborned fake footage to promote their anti-human hate campaign against farmers. Anybody who hates farmers hates humans. And the ABC ran with the story. How can those city journalists of an organisation with such a long history, with so many ties to the country through rural ABC services, hate our country so much? How can these journalists hate farmers so much? Farmers along the Queensland coast are being blamed for the chemical contamination of the reef, the non-existent chemical contamination of the reef, because farm chemicals are not detectable in the reef water. Why do they demonise farmers for no reason? Farmers who are growing products Australians use every day. This is madness. Yet despite this, the farmers continue their work. Mr. President, water has ceased to be an input to production and has now become an input to politics. Water is being used to send small and medium farms, family farms, Mr. President, to the wall. This is corporatism masquerading as environmentalism. The useful idiots, the Greens, are being used by corporate agriculture and the United Nations to wipe out the competition. Stolen property rights, control of every business input. We could name farmer after farmer who is being devastated by rampant regulations, driving political environmentalism. Political environmentalism is not making the world a better place, Mr. President. It is making the world cold, hungry, miserable. In Cobram the other day, I met an earth mover and a teacher. Terry was the earth mover, and the teacher needed to be anonymous to protect her career. Such is what happens these days when one speaks up against the left. Terry, though, depends on farmers. He works on construction. When farmers need work done, whether it's a dam or some clearing, he gets it done. But now farmers are not ordering jobs because they've lost confidence. They haven't lost confidence because of the drought. They know that droughts come, droughts go, droughts end, droughts start. And they know that this one will end because droughts are cyclical. Farmers have lost confidence because of government. They cannot see the end to political and bureaucratic insanity. They don't know what is down the road tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, from the coming out of this place and out of their state capital in Melbourne. Yet still, the farmer's spirit shines. They will rally in Yass on Tuesday, the 2nd of December, and drive in convoy to Canberra, where they will let us know what they think of the people in this building. One Nation, Mr. President, applauds and thanks our farmers for their efforts and looks forward to the day when our society casts off this pseudo-environmental lunacy that is just socialism masquerading as environmentalism, and once again appreciates farmers for the amazing work that farmers do growing food and fibre for the world, for us all. Thank you, Mr. President.